Welcome to the second training in the series OBIEE for end users. These training videos are geared towards end users that have limited to no experience with Oracle BI. This training is performed with an OBIEE 12c on-premise installation and is also 100% compatible if you own Oracle Analytics Cloud or OAC. This training uses a live Oracle eBusiness Suite instance as the data source. On top of that, MeasureIT Analytics for Oracle eBusiness Suite has been installed to provide the reporting data model and will be used for all of the demonstrations. In part 1 of the series, we focused on basic navigation, so if you watched that lesson, you should now know how to navigate throughout the application. In part 2, we want to focus on using dashboards to consume your reports and your data. If you are, say, an Oracle EBS customer and you're used to standard Oracle reports, or you're used to using the Oracle Discover reporting tool, this will be a vastly different functionality than you are used to, as none of those tools had the capability of providing you reporting through the dashboard format. And that's what we want to focus on here. So let's get started with the lesson, using dashboards in OBIEE. We've already logged into Oracle BI, and the first thing we need to do, as we're starting from the home page, is to navigate to a dashboard. So I will click on the dashboard up in the main menu of OBIEE, and then I will select a dashboard, and in this case I'm going to work on the accounts payable dashboard for the demo. To do this, click on the dashboard link, then select the accounts payable folder, and within there you can click on the accounts payable dashboard page. After choosing a specific dashboard, you will see the dashboard name on the top left of the screen. In this example, it says accounts payable. Just below that, you will see the different dashboard pages. Dashboard pages are identified by tabs across the top of the dashboard. You can click on the page names to navigate between them. The next highlighted section is dashboard prompt. This area is used to apply filtering to the reports within a dashboard. The bottom part of the screen is called the results section. This is where all the reports that you're consuming will be displayed. And last is the small little icon in the upper right hand of the screen called page items. This is where miscellaneous features for the dashboard will be found. So let's get started using this dashboard. The first thing you typically want to do when you come into a dashboard is review the dashboard prompts and apply some prompts that make sense to the data you want to retrieve. To begin, click on the drop-down arrow next to the quarter field. This prompt is a classic drop-down box. In this case, we can just select the check mark next to all 4 of the quarters in 2008. Next, we'll apply some filters using the supplier name field. This is also a drop-down box. However, we will use the search functionality to be a little bit more creative and search for supplier names beginning with specific letters. To search for supplier values, click on the drop-down arrow next to the supplier name and then click on the search link in the lower left hand of that dialog. Now that the search window is open, we can enter some criteria in the highlighted box and then click on the search icon. After typing A for the first letter of those suppliers, we click on the search button and all of the A suppliers come up. Use the double arrows to move all of these suppliers to the right hand side, which will be the selected area of this filter. Now we'll repeat that process to get all supplier names that begin with a C. In this example, I'm checking off the match case checkbox to get any suppliers to start with an upper or a lowercase c. This time let's choose one supplier, so click on Cap Consulting and then use the single arrow to move just that supplier name to the selected area on the right. Click OK, and now that we have all of our filters entered, click on the Apply button to apply those filters and rerun the report. The new report is much shorter and you can see the filters applied to the report at the bottom of the screen. Next, let's look at a few ways to consume the data within a dashboard. This invoice details report is fairly long. Use the scroll bar on the right side of the screen to scroll down to the bottom and you'll see some content paging arrows. The 2 center arrows are used to page up and down one page at a time. The outer arrows will go to the top and the bottom of the report with typically a maximum of 500 rows at a time. Dashboard reports are not static like a regular report in Discover. Let's add some formatting to this report to make it your own. Let's start by adding a sort by supplier name. Next, we'll use the right-click features to add and remove columns that we don't want in this report, and also to move them around in the various sections of the report. Right-click on Invoice Source and choose Exclude Column to hide this from the existing output. Right-click again and choose the Include column, and now you can choose to add Invoice Source back to the output or any of the other fields that are available in this analysis. You could also use the right-click menu to move columns to different areas of the analysis. Here, let's take the Invoice Source column that we re-added and move it to the prompt section of this report. Just hit the right-click, choose More Column, and then select the To Prompts option. Now the Invoice Source field is in the prompt section of the report, which acts very similar to page items in an Excel pivot table. You can choose the drop-down arrow to choose between the different invoice sources and filter your report. Let's use the right-click menu to move this same column to the Sections area and see what that does to the report. The Sections option in a report treats it a lot like a page break, so now you have an individual report with subtotals, etc. for each different invoice source in this case. After you've made customizations to a specific dashboard, you can use the Page Items icon at the top of the screen to save these changes for later. Let's show you how that works. Click the Page Items icon and then select Save Current Customizations. In this dialog, give your customization a name for future reference, and then you can choose to save it for just yourself, for others, and also make this as your default for any time you come to this dashboard page. If you go back up to the page options, you now notice that under Apply Saved Customizations, we have one option, which is the dashboard customization we just saved. You can have as many customizations as you need in this dialog. You can also edit your saved customizations. Editing customizations is generally good if you want to change your default or just delete them altogether. And if you've thoroughly messed up your report on the dashboard, you can go up to Page Options and choose the Clear My Customization option and get it back to its starting point. Next, I want to reapply our customizations and then send the output the way I like it to someone else via a dashboard link. Under Page Options, we see two different options for sending someone a link to this dashboard. One is just create bookmark link and the other is create a prompted link. The bookmark link is just to get the person to this exact same page. The prompted link would send a link to a person that gets them to this page, but also will include all of the filters that you've applied to your dashboard. Once you've clicked on the bookmark option, you can see the little yellow instruction across the top of the screen, which tells you to go up into your browser window and copy and paste the link, which you can then paste into an email and send to a coworker. In the real world, there gets to be a lot of dashboard pages out there, so you might want to use the Favorites feature of OBIEE to add this to your favorites to keep your short list of reports and dashboards that you prefer. Click on Favorites in the menu bar and then choose Add to Favorites. To demonstrate favorites, let's navigate to the Home dashboard first. Then click on the Favorites menu and choose the Accounts Payable dashboard page that we just bookmarked. Now let's add a separate dashboard page to our favorites. Navigate to the AP Key Metrics page and then choose Favorites and Add to Favorites. Similar to a browser, you can also manage your favorites. Managing favorites is fairly straightforward. Next, let's take a look at exporting data from a dashboard to Excel. At the bottom of each report in a dashboard, you should find an export link. I will first use the Export Excel option, and then I'll use the Export Data option. Notice the differences in the two choices. Export to Excel, and then choose the Open option. Notice when you use the Excel option, the Excel output looks exactly like what you saw on the dashboard screen. This will be vastly different than when we choose the Export Data option. Now let's export again. This time we'll use the Data and Tab Delimited option. See, exporting data is a pretty big difference than exporting an Excel output. Here you now have data in a spreadsheet that you can manipulate, whether you want to add filters or add a pivot table. Let's just go and do that really quick. There you have it, data from Oracle eBusiness Suite directly into Excel. Be sure to watch our episode on Smart View reporting so you can see how you can bypass the entire OBIEE front end and pull data directly into Excel using the Smart View add-in. Look at some user dashboard preferences. User preferences are up in the upper right-hand corner of the dashboard page. Look under the Signed In As area, and in this case I am signed in as the administrator called WebLogic. So click on your username and then select My Account. The Preferences tab has quite a few options that are specific to your user account. A few of the key ones including changing your starting dashboard page, changing the time zone so it's specific to you, as well as changing the analysis editor, which is a key option for those who create and edit reports. On the Delivery Options page, you can change how you like to get reports delivered to you. The Roles and Catalog Groups tab shows you what access you have to Oracle BI. Now let's just do a quick rundown of several of the navigation features within a dashboard. Use favorites to find key dashboards. Use dashboard prompts to filter your data. Each of the reports in the dashboard using the various reporting features. And that concludes part 2 in the series, Using Dashboards. We hope you will join us for part 3 of the series, called Creating Reports, where we will teach you how to create reports and analysis in the Oracle BI tools.